Hi y'all, and thanks for joining me. This is the Yarn Junkie Podcast, formerly the Crochet Junkie Podcast. You can find me on Instagram, on Ravelry as Yarn Junkie. On Instagram I am _Yarn Junkie, and then on Ravelry I am Yarn Junkie with the number 6. And I do have a Ravelry group, the Yarn Junkie Podcast. I'd love it if you come and join me, introduce yourself, tell me what you're working on. I would also like to say again, I'm so sorry for the name change. I didn't think it would be that big of a deal since I'm not selling anything, I'm not a brand. It wasn't a big deal to me just to have a different Instagram name or a different podcast name. But I also chose to do some swaps recently, and that just seemed like an ill time to change my name, because now my friends are having to say formerly the Crochet Junkie Podcast, and you have my sincere apologies, y'all. I did not mean for it to be a hassle for anyone. So thank you for sticking with me, and thanks for the people who had nice things to say about my podcast. I appreciate your kind words. I have also had a recent comment on my video quality. I record on my laptop, upload straight to YouTube. Ease of use is something that's really important to me. They expressed that it's kind of pixelated, and I'm sorry about that. I did talk to my husband and talk to him about possibly using his tablet, but he would rather me not do that. And I do have a really nice camera, but again, I don't know the record time on that. And it's not something I really want to hassle with, having to set up and then record and then upload to my computer and edit. It's just ease of use, again, is important. And uploading straight to YouTube is the easiest thing for me to do. So for those of you that stick around and like what I have to show, I appreciate it. If video quality is something that is really important to you and you can't get around the pixelated video, I totally understand. Some very amazing podcasts that do have incredible video quality include Tiny Paper Foxes. Her husband's a photographer, and he has lighting and a great camera setup that he's got for her, so her video quality is excellent. Andre Sue Knits is another podcast that has incredible video quality and editing, and it's just very professionally put together. Yarngasm is another that has excellent video quality if that's something that's important to you. Again, I completely understand, and my podcast isn't going to suit everybody's fancy, just like I don't watch some podcasts that are out there because they just don't speak to me for whatever reason. So I get it, man, and my podcast is probably going to be, this is the video quality that you get. I have expressed to my husband that I wanted something a little bit better, so in the event that he heard that, I might end up with a tablet for Christmas of my own to be able to record with. So it might improve, it might not. I'm sorry that my quality isn't better. I do take great pictures. If you follow me on Instagram or want to go see my project page on Ravelry, I try to get accurate color depiction on my pictures. That's something that is important to me. Having good quality pictures of my projects, it's just not important to me for my video, because this is just a vlog for me. It's something that I can reach out to the knitting community, maybe get some answers and tips, meet some friends. I've loved the interactions that I've gotten from my videos and the people that I've met along the way. So it's just video quality isn't there, and I'm sorry, guys, if that's something that's truly important to you. So on to the knitting now that I've gotten the introductions and such out of the way. I have one finished object to show you, some works in progress, and some swaps. And I also thought I would show you what I'm planning on casting on probably before the next episode. So these are my finished thing that I have to show you. These were finished last time, but Atrella was wearing them, so I didn't have them on hand to show you. My number 2 pencil socks. Now this yarn is from Yarn Enabler, and Sarah from the Love Sock Wool podcast was hosting a knit along. And as soon as she showed these off on one of her summer episodes, I had to order the yarn. And it did take a little bit of time to get because it's from Canada, and it took a little bit of time for her to dye up. And then it took about a week for it to get to me because it was from Canada and I'm in Texas. But it was so worth it. I waited about a month from ordering until I got these. And then I did have to buy the pattern. It's a paid pattern. You could have knit them just a vanilla sock, but I really wanted the effect of the pencil. So I do wish I would have stopped with the yellow and started up with the brown and black sooner. At the time I was concerned I would run out, so I didn't want a chance running out, but I had plenty left over. I even ripped out some of the brown to add the black. And my husband said that it's actually perfect because our daughter frequently writes with almost no lead in her pencil. She writes with nubs. And so since these are her pencil socks, it's fitting that they reflect what her pencils look like. She did wear these to school and show them off, and all of the kids were amazed. Did your mom make those? Those are so cool. She's kind of frustrated because when she knits at school, they're like, that's kind of weird. But then if I'm knitting up there at her school where they're doing stuff, all the kids think it's neat for me to do it, and she's disappointed that they don't think that it's cool for her to do. And I always quote Taylor Swift anytime kids are mean to my kids or my kids are bummed out because of something kids are doing. Haters are going to hate, because that is the truth. People don't like what they can't do, and they tend to scoff. But yeah, she's so happy with these. I am too. Something I did on these is on the heel flap and gusset, I did the eye of partridge, but instead of slipping on the knit side, I slipped on the purl side, which I feel like it just gives it a neater, more dense fabric, and it goes so much quicker because your needle is already in that position. It just flies by to turn your heels. So she really likes these. I also have a half object living in my most beautiful Cat's Kettle bag. Now, Katrina from the Cat's Kettle podcast, no, it's not the Cat's Kettle podcast, it's Yarn 30. Her podcast is called Yarn 30. She made this bag, and when she posted it to her Instagram, she didn't even get to list it to Etsy, because I said, I need that bag. You can just list it for a private listing, please. That's going to be my Halloween bag, and I love it. And I have on the zipper my teeth from the Vintage Rose. And if you love stitch markers, she has an excellent variety. Basically everything you could ever think that you needed in a stitch marker, she has. And they're incredible quality. I like to make stitch markers just for fun and for swaps and things. And the jump rings on these are incredible. I'm not entirely satisfied with the jump rings I currently use, and I'm tempted to message her and ask if she will share her supplier, since I'm not any threat to her business. Maybe she'll tell me, because these are just incredible quality, very well made. Here is my hoe, my half object, one sock finished. I'm actually quite surprised that I got this done, because I didn't want to knit on it. I really love the yarn. I'm just knitting a vanilla sock. I did the 1x1 rib, and I thought, the self-striping, it's just perfect for a vanilla sock. But the needles are killing my hands. I've been singing the praises of these since I've been podcasting. They're the cubics, and I have finally decided that they're just junk. I've told you that they bend, and I said that wasn't a big deal, but it really is, because I have a strong grip, and I'm constantly having to readjust my grip to make up for the fact that I'm bending the needle. They're also just harsh on my hands. These two fingers were hurting the other day, right about there, right where I hold this needle, and I couldn't figure out why. And Tim said, well, that's the way you're holding the needle is digging into your hand, that's why it hurts. And it was true. I did like these. I like the tips, how sharp they are, and how the yarn just flies on them, but they're just not great on my hands. I did order some carbons. I had to order something off of Amazon. And here lately, every single time I have to order something household-wise off of Amazon, I slip a pair of carbons into the cart for my next knitting project that I have planned. And I have more on the way still that I've been waiting for. It's been driving me crazy. Amazon Prime has not been very prime this week. So I started these with my carbons, and I love these carbons so much. The first few rows were a bit fiddly, but once the black part absorbs some of my hand oils, the yarn is flying. And this yarn is Truly Hooked Purple Prickles. It's so washed out in here because I'm sitting by 1,000 windows. It's actually way better back here. I have had so many different reactions with this yarn. When I saw it online, I wanted it. I needed it in my life. It was very beautiful on the skein, and the name is what sold me, Purple Prickles. And I was online looking for some cashmere yarn. And Truly Hooked is incredible when it comes to luxury fibers. She's got quite a lot to offer. And her dye jobs are usually very amazing. This is amazing as well. It's just not my favorite colors. First, they showed up a lot more pastel than I thought they would be. When I got the yarn in the mail, I didn't feel like there was a very good picture of it online, that it was not very, what is that word that I'm looking for? The color wasn't depicted very well, because it was much more pastel in person than it showed up online. Like that orange color is very peach, neon peach. And I'm not a pastel person, and there's a lot of white in this yarn too, and just light colors. I thought it was much more jewel toned, and I wasn't very happy when I was knitting the cuff because of all the color pooling, but now that I'm knitting the leg, I like it. I think it'll be fine. The colors, you don't see that much of the white, and the orange against the other colors are a lot less harsh. So, and I'm doing a 2x2 rib here just to change it up a little. What's funny is I was expressing my displeasure with the color of this yarn, and Atrella piped up that she could have the socks when they're done. I said, I love you, kid, but I'm not knitting you cashmere socks. I meant to say that about these, though. These are ending up for her. I was knitting them for myself, and I was so excited about them. Got to the toe, finished the toe pretty quickly, and I thought that they looked a bit small, and then I put them on my foot, and they're a little tight. I think I just decreased too quickly. I was traveling around with Tim yesterday and on some errands, and I just think I decreased too quickly. Something that I did, this is the best Kitchener that I've done on any sock that I've made thus far. I was so impressed. I just sat there after I got done petting it. It's just really well done. And then I, of course, woven the tail so well that there's no way that I could rip these out and re-knit them so they're long enough for me. I just did too good of a job to rip them out, so they're just going to be a trellis, which is okay too. I love this yarn. It's really pretty, but I don't want to knit the second one. I feel like I have to use the cubics so I get the same gauge, and I just, that's the last thing I want to do right now is use those needles. I also have, I really should have finished this, but I didn't. That's in my Mommy Sew bag, and she has another bag for me ready. I asked her to sew me another bag, and I kind of forgot that I asked her for it, and then she messaged me a few days ago and told me something about it I can't remember, and I was like, oh yeah. Oh, that she got the fabric. And then she posted it to Instagram, and I'd forgot again. She posted the finished bag to Instagram. So it was like a surprise twice, and it gets to be a surprise again when I actually get to pick it up. I hope I get to go to knit night tonight. I went last week, and I usually only go every other week. But I'm going next week. They're having a fall festival at knit night, not on their regular night, which is the night I normally go. So I thought that I would go this week since I'm not going on my normal night next week. But I am going to the fall festival, and I'm taking Atrella. She wanted to go. She is so excited. They plan to play Hocus Pocus while we knit, and they're having a costume contest, and she's just over the moon about getting to go up there. So hopefully I'll get to pick up my bag. If I go to knit night tonight, I'll get my new bag from Mommy Sew, and y'all will see that next time. This is my leaf garland. So I'm done with the string that I plan to attach the leaves to, and I crocheted 12 leaves, and I did 2 in each color. So there's 2 each of those, and what's interesting about these leaves is they're from this yarn. So I got 1 of each of the color stripes. And this is some Deborah Neuroville yarn. I think I got it at Joann's, and it's 100% microfiber, I want to say. It's really strange feeling. It feels a lot like bamboo. But those 2 came from that. And this is the maple leaf pattern. I think it was, I'll link it in the show notes because I can't remember. This isn't the same yarn. These are actually different yarns. But you get it. Basically, there's just a bunch of maple leaves. What bums me out is I was on the phone with my mom when I was weaving these ends in. And I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking. Because had I been thinking, I would have woven in the end for the center and left a long tail to attach them to my branch. And I didn't do that. So now I'm gonna have to use thread, which is fine. It still won't take any time. I just wish that I could have had more forethought on this. And I plan to hang it under my bar. So I have a little display on top of the bar currently, and this is gonna go directly under it and look about like that. Let me see if I can get another one. Probably about that far away. Just little leaves. And the girls, I showed you last week that I bought some felt at my craft store, my local yarn store, because they have all these little leaves hanging in the windows on string. They've cut leaves and attached them. So I bought a bunch of felt, and I had the girls cut leaves all weekend. And Prudence recently, she's my 4-year-old, and she was grounded from using scissors for quite a while because she cut a shirt of hers. But since she started school, she's earned her scissor privileges back, and she's an excellent cutter. So every day she comes home and she's cut something else at school, and she does an incredible job. And she cut most of these leaves. I even had to give her, she had just a basic pair of scissors for paper, the sharper ones, not, a 4-year-old pair. but they weren't quite doing it. So I gave her a pair of crafting scissors that are quite sharp and told her to be careful. And she did, and she says, oh, these are so much better. I love these scissors. So I'm going to have them attach them, just in staggering down a piece of string, probably this weekend. I've really enjoyed doing this craft with them. It's very time consuming, which is great because this kept them busy most of the weekend. We had, I think, maybe 15 pieces of felt to cut leaves for, and we still have 3 pieces that we need to cut leaves for. And we have walls of windows in our living and dining room, so we needed quite a bit of leaves. And they still have to attach them to strings. And even my husband thought it was great that we were doing this instead of buying decorations. I mean, he knows that we had to buy material for decorations, but he thinks these are so great. He actually asked me if I could attach them all together and make a tablecloth, because currently we have these just sort of laying on top of the bar until we get them all ready. And he was like, wow, that looks so cool. You should sew them all together and make a tablecloth. And I just looked at him. Do you have any idea how long that would take? He says, we would have it for 20 years. And he's right, and it might be something that I do one of these years, not this year. It's actually taken us a long time to cut leaves. We're kind of sick of cutting leaves. So to do enough for a whole tablecloth would be more. This is my mug today. I actually got this from an old high school friend. She sent it to me because she knows I love mugs, and I use it all the time and think of her. So it's really nice. Sorry, I'm looking down at my notes. Trella hasn't really been doing much knitting. She has been reading a ton. She reads, the Harry Potter books are her main reading, and then she reads books from the school library as her in-between reading. So she's almost done with her 3rd in-between book. She just got done with the 4th Harry Potter book, and she's on the 5th one. That's so far this school year. No, she started the 4th book last year, read it all summer, finished it at the very beginning of the year, and started the 5th Harry Potter book. But she did sew this little pumpkin this weekend. She had some fabric in her stash and just sat and watched movies with her sister while making this. And she says that it's not finished. This is her work in progress. She still needs to add a stem to the top. And I just thought that was so cute that she made a little pumpkin and sewed it. And she also, grabbing some stuff here, made Lego Lego Halloween decorations. A pirate owl, a pumpkin, and a ghost. So I just thought that those were so cute and creative. We were making the leaves, and I knit a pumpkin, and she said that she could sew a pumpkin, and so she did, and I just thought that was so cute. I am bummed that those witch socks, are not going to fit me. I need socks. I am very rough on socks. I have several pairs. My grandmother passed away 2 years ago, and when she did, I inherited Roger, my little dog, and a lot of her socks. And I have worn through almost all of them. And since I've begun knitting, I've only knit myself 2 pairs of socks. My first pair already has a hole in it because I'm rough on socks, but also we have concrete floors, and my feet are constantly cold, so I'm always wearing socks. And this was my only pair of knit socks, so every time I did a load of laundry, I would wash these socks. So I've worn these enough to wear a hole in them, is what I'm trying to say. I need to get a darning egg off of Amazon, I guess, and get this darned. I don't know how to darn. I need to Google that, or if you have a good tutorial that you know of, tell me what to do. These are my Patents Croy Rose City Rollers, the first pair of socks I knit for myself. Not the first pair of socks I knit though, because I knit my husband 2 pairs of socks before I even made myself one. And guess what? He has not worn them at all. He's worn one pair, no, he's worn both pair one time. And he wants me to knit him another pair. And I said, but you're not wearing the ones I've already knit you. I'm going to knit me socks. I'm going to knit me all the socks because I wear holes in my socks and I need more. So I'm sad. I'm sad the witch socks don't fit me. I guess it's better off so that I don't wear a hole in them. What else? What else? I've been knitting on my Rosemont. I'll show it to you quickly. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because it's still just the back. I've added another ball. I was probably about here last time I showed it to y'all. This is still just the back of the sweater. Nothing spectacular. I did switch to the carbons as I mentioned last time. I had these on the Knit Picks interchangeables and the coating was wearing off on the outside of the needle. I didn't like that, the way it was grabbing my hand. I love the carbons. I love this yarn. I love how soft it is. It's an alpaca silk blend. This is probably going to be kind of a longer term project. I don't anticipate being done with it probably by Christmas for sure, so you'll see that again. That's living in my cozy crafting project bag, my masterpiece in progress. I love this bag. I love this print. That's what I should say. I'm also working on my farmhouse shawl. That is in my bird leg bags. Chicken bag. How perfect for a farmhouse shawl to be in the chicken bag. And I am to the I'm halfway through the third increase. The third section, border section. It goes this way. And I love it. I love the yarn. It's Brooklyn Tweed Shelter. I love how rustic feeling it is. It seems so perfect for a farmhouse shawl to be like this rustic yarn. I love the pattern. It's very easy, very fast knitting. I'm not a fast knitter, but I feel like this project is progressing quickly. I did switch out my stitch markers on it. Last time I had the little pipe in the house. This time I have the, sorry, I'm trying to get them in a good presenting location. The feet, of course it wants to flip around. The feet and the sword from my Hobbit stitch marker collection. And again, those are from the Vintage Rose. I love her stitch markers. And I'm knitting these on carbon size 8. The pattern did request a size 9 needle, but I didn't like the fabric I got with my gauge on that, so I sized down. I tend to have a loose gauge. And I am, where was I last time I showed you guys? I think I was about here. So I haven't knit a ton, but altogether with my other projects, I feel like I've made a lot of progress this week. And I love everything I'm working on, with the exception of the needles I'm using for my witch socks. And here's the picture for the farmhouse shawl. I show that off every time, so I'm sure you've seen it. And I really wanted to start my Tweedy honeycomb toque this week. I showed you this yarn last week I bought because I saw a stitch sampler at Joann's for the honeycomb pattern. And then I went to knit night and I saw a hat sitting there, a sample hat knitted up, and it was the honeycomb pattern, and I want a hat desperately. I love honeybees. I don't know, I don't really like honey that much. I do eat it. I drink it more than anything in my tea. That's what I use to sweeten my tea, is honey. But I don't know, I have this weird obsession with honeycombs and bees, and that yarn just screams honeycomb to me, or that color. It is the glazed pecan colorway, and it's not showing up so great. It's much more saturated than, probably about like that. I just love it. And I really wanted to cast on this hat. You have no idea. You see the needles. I actually did cast it on using these. I ordered needles. As I said, every time I need something from Amazon lately, I slip some needles in the basket. Now, I ordered needles for this hat, and because I needed size 6 and size 8, or size 9, I needed size 6 and size 9 in 16-inch circumference, which I knew I didn't have. But then I did. I found a size 6, which is what I need for the ribbing, so I started it, but these kill my hands, and I don't know if it's because they're so short or what. These are Addies, I believe. Yeah, they're Addies. I'm not a fan, and they're just really blunt. Addie needles are just not my favorite. When I started knitting, I really loved them, so I have quite a bit of Addie needles. Guys, I have a lot of needles because I cannot make up my mind when it comes to needles. I'm the biggest, flakiest person because I keep saying, oh, these are great, and buy a bunch of them, and then I don't like them after 2 projects. Here recently, a lot of podcasters are talking about the new Knit Pro Zings, but apparently they're not available in the US. So who knows how great they are. Maybe you know. Tell me how great they are. So desperately want to cast this on, waiting on needles, and Amazon is, this certain vendor or something isn't very great because I ordered another pair of needles that never arrived, and I don't even think the ones that I need for this have shipped yet, and I ordered them a week ago almost, I think. I'm going to call them and complain that I need my needles because I desperately need to cast on my hat. Now, this morning, I posted a funny thing about people not appreciating handcrafters and the time that it takes. One of those little memes that's like, you know, why buy it for $7 when I can make it myself for $97 in craft supplies? I didn't share that one, but it was something like that. And I had a really good friend comment and say that she would pay $100 for a hat knitted with love from me. And I adore this girl. She's been my very good friend for quite a few years. I always just enjoy anything that she posts about and talks about. I enjoy looking at pictures of her kids. Her and I are very close, but far apart in age, so I almost feel like she's a kid sister to me. And she said that she would pay me to knit a hat. And she does not have to pay me to knit a hat because I will gladly knit a hat for her out of love. I love and adore her. And so I told her that I would knit a hat for her, and I'm glad to do it. Then she asked me to do it in dark gray yarn. I was like, what is it with people? Why can't you love color? But it doesn't matter. Dark gray yarn will be fine in the pattern that we chose. So I sent her a couple of pictures, and this is the one that I'm going to knit for her. And I don't know if she wants a palm or not. I asked her, and we'll see. But isn't that cool? It's the Hipster Sister from Hedgehog Fibers, and it's a free cabled hat pattern. I printed it out. I do not have gray yarn, so I'm going to need to get that. But I'm really excited to cast this on for her. And hopefully I can have it done quickly. Today is her birthday, and so this is going to be her birthday hat. And I just love it. I think it's really her. And she's a total hipster too. and she's like my kid sister. So Hipster Sister is a pretty fitting pattern name for a hat for her, and I am so excited to cast this on. Last time I also showed you guys my minis that I bought. I since put them in a ball, and as soon as I had them in a ball, I was like, my knitting friends are right. They're way too gorgeous to be leaves. Little crochet leaves? No way. This one especially is like charcoal and orange. It's just really cool. So, instead of doing leaves, these 3 yarns are going to make me a pair of beautiful fingerless gloves. And it's going to be my first color change project, my first Fair Isle project. And it is the Heart Cookie Mints, and it's a paid pattern. But as soon as I saw it, I knew. What inspired me first was seeing Yarn 30, Kat from Yarn 30, Katrina, the one who made this bag, Katrina. She had such nice things to say about me on her podcast, and I really appreciate that. And I've really loved our interactions that we've had online. I've really enjoyed seeing the things that she's working on and hearing about her life. So it's nice to know that she relates to me as well. She's good people. She was making some fingerless gloves, and as soon as I saw hers, I knew that I needed to knit some fall gloves with this colorway. I thought that would be perfect. Got on Ravelry, started perusing, and these sang my heart song, because I'm going to knit the cuff with the dark color, and then of course the hearts are going to be red, and then the background's going to be this yellow. And again, all this adds because of course I don't have needles for this project. Of course I need to order needles for this project, and I've been waiting very impatiently. They should be here tomorrow, and you know I'm going to cast on as soon as I check the mail, because I'm in love. I'm in love. These are just going to be so exciting to knit with, and I'm going to love wearing those. Hopefully that's not too hard. Hopefully I didn't choose too ambitious of a project. I read through the pattern. It's 1 page and it has a chart. It seems really simple and straightforward. We'll see if my skills are adequate enough to do a good job. So now I have fall gloves and a fall hat. I will be so awesome. It's going to be great. I am, with all of the acquisitions that I had, I still need to pick up some yarn for this hat. Plus the bag that Mommy Sew is making me. I feel stash guilt so bad. And I am thinking of doing the Yarn Diary of a Yarn Snob. Julie is pledging a no buy November. And even though it's my birthday month, I'm thinking a no buy November is in order. I have been pretty greedy as of late with the stash enhancements. I have tons and tons that I can knit and be happy with. And if I could just stay away from project bag makers, that would be really awesome. You guys are such enablers. Mina from the Knitting Expat just posted some gorgeous Christmas bags, and sadly, I watched her podcast a few days late and I did not score one, which is not very sad because my budget says no more project bags, and I'm like, yes, all of the project bags. All the project bags in the land. But you guys know how it is. You get tired of carrying the same project bag, or you have a new project and you want a different project bag that matches. I get it. That's how I am too. That's why I have so many. So, I have showed you, Prudence, I did not show you, I'm all over the place, y'all, like usual. So, Prudence showed me 2 of her pictures and said, Mama, I would like you to show these on your video, or your video. She doesn't say V's, it's video. I said, oh, okay. So, I'll I'll show you that one later because that kind of ties in with something else. This one she drew at school. Her teacher gave her a paper, said to draw a funny fish. And she's 4, guys. So I think that is incredible for a 4-year-old. She drew some plants down here. These are bubbles at the top, and her fish. It's really interesting to see how different my girls are, but how similar as well. And I just think that this is pretty incredible for a 4-year-old. So I also have, sorry, I'm having to stretch out my legs. I've talked about having bad knees, and I'm sitting here Indian style in my room again, recording in my room again. This seems like the best place to record, especially with my husband. He works from home, as I've mentioned. He's in and out sometimes, and last week's episode, I don't know if you saw me, but I was clearly looking off screen at the last few minutes, and he clapped really loudly at the end because he was sitting there watching me. And I know numerous of you guys, numerous podcasters have mentioned how they could not do it with somebody in the room. And I wouldn't mind if they could just sit quietly, but he was waiting on me, so it made me nervous, and I stumbled a few times because he was sitting there. But like if a child wanted to sit in the room and knit quietly while I did this, it wouldn't bother me. I'm talking to y'all, but also I would be saying the same thing to somebody else if there was an actual person in the room. And that's why I kind of don't want to do too much of the editing and other stuff. Just leave it. I do appreciate the editing. I like it, but sometimes it's a little bit jarring. It's like, what did you cut out? What did you say that you didn't mean to say? I want to hear it, you know? And so sometimes it's a bit weird to have somebody edit. So I'm going to move on to my swaps, I think. Let me take a look at my notes. 1 second. I would also like to take a moment to say thank you to the Kill-to-Craft podcast. Nessa mentioned my podcast. I helped her out on Instagram. I just gave her my experience with Croy sock yarn, and she shouted out about my podcast, said some really nice things about me, so I appreciate that, and thanks. I will move on to my stash enhancement now, or my swaps. It's not really enhancement. I didn't buy it, guys. I was swapped, okay? I'm going to wait on this one. I'm going to do this one first. And it's getting long. So first I did a Halloween swap with the Diary of a Yarn Snob podcast. Julie hosted a Halloween swap. She asked on her podcast if anybody would like to get together and swap packages, and there was just a few of us, which I thought was kind of nice, and even Jules said this on her podcast. She thought it was nice that it was a little bit more intimate, and I felt that way too. So I was paired with my swap partner, and she and I exchanged a few messages over Ravelry, and we have a lot in common. She's really a cool lady. She's a grandmother, and her husband hunts, and so her handle is Lady Bow Hunter, and immediately I was like, do you bow hunt? Since I have a bow. I haven't been hunting. I've just been target practice, archery practice, but I would absolutely love to take my bow out and kill a turkey. That is my ambition with my bow, is to hunt a turkey. It's probably something I'll never do, but it's nice to think about. She and I swapped a package. I sent my package to her, and then she blew me away on what she sent to me. I feel so spoiled by my swaps. It's insane. So first, she not only sent me a swap, but she was sure to include things for my family as well, which I just thought was really incredibly kind, and my girls really appreciate it. So she sent a Trella, a Grow Your Own Crystals kit. Oh, and the kids are like going nuts. Have you showed this stuff on your video? Can we have this stuff yet? I'm like, no, not yet. I haven't. So she loves this. She cannot wait to grow her own crystals. We've had a few of these kits before. We always buy them, so it's nice to have another because it's just a cool thing to do. She sent Prudence this one, which she could not wait, and she has already completed it. And she loved doing this. My girls love dinosaurs, love anything to do with dinosaurs, and so she had quite a lot of fun doing this. And Atrella had quite a lot of fun standing over her, making sure she was doing it right, because that is her sister's job, to stand over her sister and make sure she's doing everything. She also sent these fun little washcloths for them, and they were so excited about these for their bath, which I thought was fun. She even sent my husband a gift, a swap, or he loves it. He really likes the texture on, it's like ridged. So he thought that was super cool. And camo, hello, we're hunters. So that went over really well. He was like, why did she send me something? He's so skeptical. Like, because she's amazing, that's why. That's not all. There's a whole box of stuff, okay, y'all? She sent face paint. The kids are going to practice their face painting skills this weekend. They've already laid claim to this. She sent dog treats. As I said, stuff for the entire family, even my dogs. And she sent me, in the message she sent, she said that to her, dogs are family too. And that's really true. My dogs are like my kids, and they're not treated as well as my kids. When I say that, I mean, I know that they're dogs, and they're treated like dogs, but I love them, and they're my little people. So that's just sweet that she sent some treats for them. She also sent some, sorry, hang on, I'm like trying to sort all of it. I should have had it better organized than this. A Christmas ornament, an owl Christmas ornament. And this was perfect because I have a ton of owl Christmas ornaments. My mother-in-law started me a collection many years ago, and ever since then a few people have noticed that I have owls on my Christmas tree, and so I get owl Christmas ornaments quite a lot as gifts. And that is so cool that I have another. And gold and red is how I decorate my Christmas tree. So that's just perfect. Really perfect. She also sent cupcake and treat toppers, which is perfect. I make cupcakes constantly. Every holiday I make cupcakes. And now I don't have to buy the festive ones because you've already sent them. You've helped me. This little owl thing. And I have a collection of owl figurines, and it's nice to have another one. What's cool about this one is if you turn it around, it has these beautiful roses, or these little flowers, and this is so strange. Do you know what this is for, Linda? Because I was going to see if you said in your note, but I know that you didn't. I read your note. I don't know what it's for, but this is like a little soft thing inside of this porcelain owl. So, Linda, what is this? If it's just a decoration, it's beautiful. I have lots of them that are just decorations, and that's cool too. She also sent a nice card with a kitty and a dog, with a note, some owl buttons, which I think I have some similar to this, so that's too funny. This I loved, a little owl chime, and chimes are something that I really, really love. I'm telling you guys, she completely spoiled me. she made me one of these, and if you do not know what this is, in the South, we use cast iron skillets. That is what I cook out of all the time. I love my cast iron skillet. My mother-in-law is actually the one that got me hooked on them, and I've been cooking out of one for 10 years, and I don't have one of these. I've always said I'm going to make one, and I never do. And this is to go on the handle of the skillet so you can hold it because it's hot. So it's just a pot, a pot holder. But yes, thank you. You have no idea how much I've always wanted one of these, and now I have one that I didn't have to make. And it's just such a simple thing that it's crazy that I haven't made myself one, but now I don't have to, and it's green, my favorite color. That makes me so happy. And she also made a pot holder. It's double thick. And I meant to bring them in here. I have some pot holders that I've made, and they're my husband's favorite, and he thinks that is one of the best things that I've made. So I am excited to have this one, and then also a dishcloth that she made, which I thought was just really nice to have something that she made. And she says that she's really new to crocheting. She doesn't knit, and that she's new to crocheting, so she didn't really know what to send. She was very nervous about this package, and she just blew me away. She also sent me a project bag that's green and purple flowers. It's gorgeous. I love this bag. I'm not sure if she made it. If she did, it's very well made. I really love the ribbon. It glides very nice when you cinch it. I'm so happy about this. And that fabric is just, those are my colors, guys. Those are my colors. And still yet there's more. Halloween pencils. My girls are too excited about these. And of course I wouldn't let them have any until I showed it off. I also got yarn. She sent a skein of yarn. And this is beautiful. It's Madeline Tosh Vintage, which is 100% superwash worsted weight. And the colorway is Envy. So it's green with these flashes of blue. It's gorgeous. I am so excited about this, and I think I'm going to knit a hat. Probably the hipster sister, she wanted hers in gray, but then I can knit myself one in this color and keep this one for myself, and we can have sister hats for my sister wife. I joke. We've joked together about being sister wives. I love this yarn, Linda. It's so gorgeous, and it's definitely not something that I would have picked for myself, which is what I love even more about it. It's just, I love it. That's not all, y'all. She also included a keychain from where she's from. Also, which is totally cool, and I meant to also grab my keychains to show you guys. I collect keychains. I have a ton from all over the place. More owl buttons. And gum. Love this gum. It's my favorite. I think she knew that. She told me she watches my podcast, so I'm pretty sure I've probably mentioned this is my favorite gum. And this gorgeous owl tin that I love, this little notions box. Isn't that cute? Linda, thank you so much. I really am just blown away at all the stuff that you sent to me, and my girls and my husband, and I am so appreciative. I hope that you know that. I also did a swap with Carlene from the Made with Carlenergy podcast, and she too spoiled me. I feel so incredibly blessed to have these ladies and to call them my friends. First, she sent me, I'm just going to dump it out. This package, this Radley. I got a really nice card, an owl that I love, and I love her little knitting yarn ball that she did with my name. She also included this little handout of some poems that she wrote, and I won't read them. And there's a picture, and I think the artwork and the poems are by her. And I would really like to frame either that or the picture on the inside, but I don't want to hide the poems. So that was just really cool. And they're typed on her typewriter, which is also just, I think they're typed. I'm pretty sure they're typed. She's mentioned having a typewriter, so she too included little items for my girls. A snake keychain that she made, and this one is a rat. And she said it reminded her of the story that I told about having to go and leave Knit Night to go get rats for the snake, and how that always makes the Knit Night ladies laugh because I gotta go get dinner for my snake. But that's just really so sweet, and I told her in a message that my girls are of course fighting over who gets the snake. They both want the snake. I think the rat's the cutest. I love his little ears. And Carlene said that maybe that they could switch out, which I thought that was a great idea, and that I'm going to propose that to them. One gets the snake 1 week, the next gets the rat, etc. So thank you so much, my girls. Loved these, and again, I wouldn't let them have them until I showed them off. So now that I have, they're going to go in their backpack. And she also sent, everything was packaged so cutely, this little package of teas and chocolates. The chocolates, I told her, did get a bit squishy. It's still, I live in Texas, it's still in the high 90s in the afternoon. The mail got dropped off on Saturday, but I didn't go pick it up until Sunday, so of course the chocolates were squishy, but nothing got messed up. I think the chocolates were actually in a different package, and I put them in here. This little pin is so funny. It says fair weather friend, and that's me. I'm such a fair weather friend. I don't like a lot of drama. I cannot stand people who perpetuate drama and just are negative and down all the time. I do suffer from depression and anxiety. A lot of podcasters have mentioned that, and it's something that does affect me as well. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I try to stay away from drama and negativity. I'm a highly sensitive person, and I find it depressing and it drags me down, and I have to, I don't know if you've heard the saying, not my circus, not my monkeys, but I have to tell myself that frequently so I don't take other people's feelings as my own, because I will. I'll pick up on the climate in a room, and it will affect me physically. I can feel somebody else's sadness or somebody else's anger, or it's something that I have to be really careful about when I'm around people, is guarding and knowing what are my feelings versus somebody else's feelings. To a lot of people that sounds total BS, but it's not. I'm a highly sensitive person, and I promise you, I can feel other people's feelings as if they were my own. And I also have a hard time taking pharmaceutical medicine because of that, the sensitivity. If there's an adverse side effect to that medicine, it's more than likely going to affect me negatively. It's just something that's always been true with me. I'm going to stretch out my other leg here. So back to my swaps, fair weather friend, that's me, because I can't stand to be around drama. So this was perfect and hilarious. She sent me some gorgeous, gorgeous minis. Carlene, tell me what these are, because like this one is sparkly, and it has, you can't really see it, but it has green and blue and just a hint of purple. See? Love it. Love this one of my favorites. This one's really cool too. I don't know what that material is, but do you see how hairy it is? That's my favorite kind of yarn. A friend at Knit Night, I was talking about wanting to make something with mohair. And this sweater, the Nora one that's all messed up, is mohair. I love mohair. What is this? I don't think it's mohair. It's really soft. Probably alpaca, because I love it. This one is also that gold butterscotch color. Love it. This one was really cool. It's dark and mysterious, kind of like a green, navy, brown. Very pretty. And what's interesting is like none of these colors are yarns that I would have bought. I do have something that I crocheted a trello last year in a very similar color to this, but it's yarn that was given to me. I also really love this one. It's olive and brown, and this one's pretty. It's just like a very mauve color, mauve gray. Love these minis. They are so adorable. It makes me want to work on my hexies, but yeah, I'm knitting stuff. Who has time to work on little hexies? The tees that she sent me were kind of funny. I haven't tried some of them, and they all sound really good. This, I was going to say, this is funny because I have this tee. And she sent it, and I said, that's one of my favorites, and I cannot wait to try this. I've never tried Scarlet Citrus Rubus. Sounds really good. She also sent some yarn. I love this colorway, and I have not seen this in my local yarn shops. It's Patents Croy, but it's the Summer Moss colorway. I'm excited about knitting this into some rollers. I love Patents Croy for rollers. It's just a very good, dense yarn. They knit up so quick, and I love the stripes. She also sent a book, Life in Stitches, which I thought was incredible, and I've already read quite a bit of it, as you can see. And she said that this was a book that was gifted to her a few years ago that she read and enjoyed, and I am enjoying it too. So thank you so much, Carlene. I really loved everything that you sent, and I think it will be really cool to send this to another person that I swap with when I get done with it. That way it can be sort of like the sisterhood of the traveling book. She mentioned on her podcast how she's really enjoyed connecting with all of you and her friends and enjoy doing swaps, and I really have too. I think that it's been really nice to connect with so many of you and to do some swaps with some of you, and I appreciate all the feedback that I've gotten from you guys and all of the support that I've gotten on my projects and on Natrella's projects as well. I tell her everything that y'all say, and that she really enjoys the support and the encouragement. So thanks so much for watching. That's all I have today. Now there's a huge, that is not all I have. I was going to talk about one more thing. One more thing I looked next to me. I mentioned always getting needles on Amazon. So these are some that I got that I don't even need the project. These are for my husband's sweater. I don't plan to cast that on for a while yet. At least until I finish my Rosemont, which probably won't be till Christmas. So my friend Anna, I mentioned watching Outlander. I started the Outlander series on my last podcast. So we've already watched both seasons, of course, because that's what you do. You binge watch Outlander. without offering up any spoilers to those that have not watched it, it was incredibly hard for me to watch. Back to the sensitive person stuff, it is very graphic. Without going into further, like I said, I don't want to spoil the show for anybody who hasn't seen it, but it was incredibly hard to watch some of the scenes. It's very graphic, it's very disturbing. I feel like the show could have left a lot more to the imagination as opposed to forcing us to watch brutal violence. Like, it haunted me the whole next day after I watched the last episode, or the next to the last episode of season 2. It was just really bad. But my friend Anna told me to get the books, that I needed to read the books. She's a big book person. I am too, though I haven't done much reading lately. I did show y'all some books on a few podcasts, and I haven't even really read any of them. When Carlene sent me the book, I've devoured this. As soon as I opened it, I haven't really set it down other than to knit. I can't read and knit at the same time. I'm not that skilled. Those of you that are, impress me, but I am not. But I did get the Outlander book at the library. Love the library. Even though I've already watched season 1 and season 2, I don't mind watching stuff and then reading the books. I did that with the Hunger Games. I did that with Harry Potter. I read most of the books after I watched the movies. So I'm going to read this. Maybe. I haven't really decided yet if I'm going to read it. I don't think that I want to watch any more of the seasons. It was really graphic. It disturbed me. It's not something that I enjoyed watching. I did like the storyline up until it turned so graphically hard to watch. It's hard to watch, guys. I don't know. Am I just like a pansy? Is that it? That's okay too. Man, I like to watch happy stuff. I don't mind drama as long as it has a good, happy, solid ending. That's just, I try to live my life and be positive because that's the secret. I've mentioned that before. The things that you put out there are the things that are reflected back upon you. I would rather have good thoughts and good things come to me than constantly have a bombardment of not so great things. Look at this yarn. Linda, I love this. I think I'm going to cast this on, like right now. Right now. Maybe not. We'll see. I need needles, y'all. Still waiting on needles. We'll see what all I have cast on for next time. Hopefully I have a finished pair of Halloween socks. That's going to be my goal. Force myself to finish the Halloween socks. For my knit along, I didn't mention that at all. So random and all over the place today, but please join my knit along. There are some amazing ladies that have joined. Thank y'all. I love chatting with y'all and seeing what y'all are making. This is what I'm making. I was going to do a giveaway of something I made, so I wanted to make one of these, just a phone holder, and maybe some stitch markers to go with it, like I do. I was going to do a raspberry one in this color. So what do y'all think? Y'all want one of these? Little crocheted phone holder. I love these for my phone, for when we go to festivals or the park and I don't want to carry my bag. I just put my phone in this and then I can still take pictures and have my phone easily accessible. That's all. That's definitely all. I've rambled on for over an hour. So thanks for joining me, guys. I hope to see y'all next time. Come say hello in the group and happy crafting.